All right, Tony.
So what do they call you?
They call me Primo.
What are you incarcerated for, and how long is your sentence?
I got convicted of multiple murder and got the sentence of death.
Where are you from out here?
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Where are you from out here on the streets?
From the San Gabriel Valley.
Do you or did you belong to any type of gangs, groups, organizations?
Yes, I did belong to a gang as a kid.
All right, my friend. So you currently sit on San Quentin Deathrow in the state of California, right?
Yes.
How did you find yourself there?
Man, that one's a kind of long story there. I mean, I was doing good out there, and then next thing you know, someone threw my name in the mix, and next thing I'm going through trial for something. I mean, it's crazy. I was sitting there working, going to school. The next thing you know, I'm being tried for murder.
So basically, what you're trying to imply to me is that you are not guilty of the charges that have been brought up against you?
No, and that's but I mean, I know everybody says that and everything like that, but it is what it is. Especially when it's a high-profile case. The cops lock in on whoever they want, but the individual who testified against me, they were trying to go after him. And then when he turned state's evidence, next thing you know, they started going after me and a number of other people.
Can you go into more into depth about that? Like, so basically, he's trying to frame you?
I'm not. Well, like I said, I mean, it's all out there and stuff in court transcripts and stuff like that. But I mean, I prefer just to talk about the subject of the role and stuff like that. I mean, I'm working on my appeal, so I'm not trying to have too much placed out there. There's already so many narratives, and people think that they know what happened, or there's other people putting stuff out there that really isn't true. But I mean, it's their story. Let them tell it the way they tell it. But I'm working on mine.
How is your appeal going? Like, do you feel like you have a good chance?
I feel like I have a good chance, but currently, because of Prop 66, I have no representation. I mean, I am represented by a lawyer who did my automatic appeal, but that's only in name. Because of Prop 66, they made it so that our appeals had to go back down to the counties we're out of, which is LA County. And since they enacted that part, they've never allocated any funds. They've never got a pool of lawyers, and they've never came up with a pay scale. So, like the other day, I had just received my third notice of a stay of appointment of counsel, and my case for some reason keeps getting thrown on the back burner in terms of being appointed counsel. And I've been here for going on 24 years. Well, actually, 24 years today.
We don't have to go into depth about the crime, but what I just really want to know is how was it that you were convicted? If it wasn't beyond a reasonable doubt, the evidence, then why did they pick you?
Well, see, a lot of people, that's the thing, is a lot of people, they go by, they think that because of TV shows and stuff like that, that these juries are going to just be like, oh, yeah, we got a great story here, and it's basically salesmanship, right? You got the defense and you got the prosecution, and it's whoever sells it the best to them. I mean, in my case alone, if you can look this up, the presiding judge, he was arrested during the later parts of our trial. Well, he wasn't arrested, but his chambers were raided in the courthouse, and he ended up eventually, after I got up here, going to federal prison for stuff he was doing during and before the trial even started.
So the individual from Sangra, the one that was killed, so he was the one who did it?
Well, I have no knowledge of what happened in this case, so I mean, there's so many other people who have supposed intimate knowledge, right? And I'm just stuck, playing from behind.
I've definitely have heard of a lot of not a lot, but I have heard that there has been some wrongful convictions on death row. However, this crime right here is a very heinous one, and I do feel the person responsible should pay the ultimate penalty for it.
No, without a doubt, it was a heinous. I mean, it's crazy because people that knew me were like, how the hell did they? Like even some of my co-defendants when they first saw me, because I was extradited from Utah. I was living in Utah, and when I was extradited, like they seen me on the bus going to arraignment, and they were like, "What are you doing here?" Like they were shocked.
Did this case play into effect? Because I'm pretty sure once it's all over the news, I'm pretty sure regardless if you're guilty or not guilty, whatever the fact, in the mafia's eyes, in order to protect their name or whatever, you're guilty. So were you automatically green lighted, or was there like a process? Like, did you speak with someone? How did that work?
I don't even know. I mean, like I said, it that's the crazy part about it. Like I said, this is my first bid. This is my first time in prison, so I mean, out of all my co-defendants, I had the least record. Like so, I mean, a lot of this stuff was new. This is, like I said, this is my first term, and it was crazy how it turned my life upside down.
That's a scary situation, and that's something scary to have on your jacket.
No, without a doubt. I mean, it was constantly because out of all my co-defendants too, when I first got to the LA County Jail, I was the only one who wasn't slammed down. I was on the main line. I was walking around, with everybody. Well, everybody else was in like high power in the gang module and stuff like that. I was the only one on the main line, and the only time that I ended up going to high power was because my security status went up when I got found guilty.
Do you know if back then or not that they did actually put a green light on you?
Like I said, I was walking around all that. I didn't know nothing. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, like I said, it's just being out the loop or whatever, and you're walking around and then you hear things, but nothing happens. So you don't. It's just one of those things.
So basically, they don't play the politics and all that on death row, or do they?
Well, I try to avoid all that stuff. Like I said, I mean, I'm not trying to make my situation worse. So, I came up here with a chip on my shoulder, and I was, kind of a knucklehead for the first couple of years doing stupid stuff and just, trying to maintain that like just being like little dumbass, and then I learned real fast that doesn't work, and then especially when I'm trying to achieve getting my day in court.
You have 60 seconds remaining. This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Did your family stop talking to you after they found out about the situation?
No, actually, my family's still supporting me as far as like coming to see me and writing me letters and keeping my spirits up.
Some parents won't give up on their sons for nothing.
Yeah, but there's also a number of people up here that they don't got anybody. They don't got anybody in their life.
So what was your situation like actually arriving to death row? Once you got sentenced, what was death row like for you? Were you approached? Were you hit up by anybody? Did anybody ask you for your paperwork?
when I got here in the to the prison itself.
Yes, sir.
No, because I was in the adjustment center, which is single man cell. Well, all the death row is single man cell. When I got here, I mean, it pretty much people know who's coming up because they see the news or whatever. But yeah, no, everybody pretty much knew. And then, like I said, I was in the adjustment center, which was like the shoe back then. Anybody from down south was held right there for years, uh, just based on where they came from.
Has there ever been any attempts on your life?
No.
Okay, so you say you've been there for 20-something years. Have you actually been there when they actually...
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
When they've actually executed somebody?
Yes.
What was that experience like? And did the lights start flickering? What is the atmosphere like? And can you tell us what... Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say the lights don't flicker because that's for the... that's basically, I guess, for the states that have the electric chair. They use the gas in this state. And then a lethal injection. Well, that was gas back then, and they used lethal injection.
So, based off your observation, have you seen an inmate's personality somewhat change, or their demeanor perhaps being different leading up to the event?
I know that the COs kind of used to get like real more polite, more trying to make everybody feel a little bit more at ease, and like the food, they would make the trays a little bit fatter and have something different for dessert. And then it was also because we weren't having program. They would shut down program. They wouldn't no movement for us when that was going on, and it basically was just I wouldn't say it like any other ordinary day, but it was just you can feel a little bit of the vibe in the air.
Did you actually personally know anybody who got executed, and how did that affect you?
No, I actually didn't because I was so new up here when they were doing it, and then when they stopped them, I had just barely still was like several years fresh to being up here, so I really didn't know too many people when I got here.
Someone who's being charged with the death penalty, such as yourself, are you for the death penalty or are you against it?
At one point when I was younger, I had that mindset that yeah, people should die for for stuff, but as I got older, I started seeing that one, the death penalty itself it's just a broken system. It's not. It doesn't deter crime. I mean, even when it was going on.
Yeah, but the reason why the crime hasn't stopped is because they don't impose it enough. If they were to actually impose it, and if they were to actually start carrying out these executions in a fast, swift way, you know what I'm saying, in a bristly manner, I think it would definitely deter people. If people knew that they would be convicted of the death penalty and they would be executed within a year or within 6 months or that very same week, I think that would deter a lot of people.
No, because they've had the death penalty around for ages, and you got states like Texas and Oklahoma and Arkansas and different places like that. They do it in a manner that's pretty swift, and it still doesn't deter crime. And studies have been done on it and shown that it's not a deterrent. People are going to do what they're going to do. That it doesn't deter it, and then to send the message out there that to try to get rid of murder by killing people, that doesn't send that doesn't track. it's a naive way to look at it. I mean, the reality is like I said, it's too costly. It's not effective, and it's broken because it's biased against people of color, for one thing, and that studies have been done on that, and they've been shown. I mean, there's so much wrong with it. I mean, it shouldn't be around any longer. I mean, we're supposed to be this civilized society, yet we're still using draconian ways to punish people.
Well, my personal belief is some people got it coming. You know, some people that are sitting on death row right now have some heinous crimes. You know, multiple murders.
Oh no,
They kidnap people. They kill them. Like this one guy, Balansky, whatever. He literally killed 5 different women. You're gonna tell me that person deserves to still live a luxurious life? Because I believe even being on death row is somewhat of a luxurious lifestyle compared to being 60 underneath the ground.
That's a misconception as well.
And then you guys are going to get released. From what I hear, you guys are going to get released out to the SNY yard. You guys are going to eventually get tablets. You guys are going to eventually, you know, you guys used to have food cells and all that. So it's like, damn, are you guys really?
But you know,
are you guys really punished? Are you guys really being punished?
But your mentality is one-sided because you're going by just what you're being fed, and you're not getting the whole facts. And the thing is that you seem like I mean, and I don't want to, you know, be mistaken or whatever, but you seem like you may have either had a family member who's been lost, or you yourself was a victim of a crime, because the mentality and the way that you're posing these things is like you're taking it personally. And I agree, you know, like you say individuals who have these heinous stuff, yeah, no, without a doubt. I mean, they should be punished for their crimes. There's no doubt about it. But honestly, the death penalty isn't. Where you sit there and talk about, oh, we're going to get tablets and stuff. That's more for keeping people in communications with their people on the outside. This is not a luxury. We're limited on what we do.
Okay, but the tablets are basically, you could download music. You guys are going to be able to make phone calls from within your guys' cell. From what I hear, they're trying to do that. Send videos. You're able to download music, video games. I mean, that's basically a cell phone. Like, without web access, that's basically a cell phone. You know, commissary, all that. I mean,
okay.
I personally believe that people who have convicted of super heinous crimes like that, multiple murders and all that, they should definitely not be allowed to have those privileges, bro. Without a doubt.
Okay, but that's an opinion. But now listen to this. Now, you got people who were treated like animals and stuff like that. And as you see, people's cases have been overturned more so in recent times. These people, now, if you're treating them in a manner that you're treating them like hostile, you're treating them like animals, you're basically poking a bear in a cage. What do they do when they do eventually come out? They're not trained to do anything. They're not given rehabilitative programs. They're not given any kind of stuff to keep their mental well-being stuff. How do they come out? They come out maladjusted. They don't come out in a positive way. So if there's going to be punishment for crimes, yes, there should be set parameters and set times for specific crimes and stuff like that, right? However, to put somebody in there and to sit there and try to say, oh, well, you're less than human, so we're going to just treat you like this. And then by chance this person comes out and this person does something crazy, and you're going to sit there and be like, oh, man, you guys are the society's going to complain about that.
But they should never be allowed the second chance to begin with. They should not be allowed.
But how do you know that? How do you know?
And
I mean,
exactly
DNA evidence could clear somebody, and you're going to sit there and say, "Oh shoot, oops."
No, you're right. You're right. There has been a few. There has been a few cases where people have gone exonerated, and for those people, I feel for, and for those people, I strongly believe. The prosecutors, the judge, everybody should be investigated, because you cannot send someone to death row or even give them a life sentence, whatever, without having, like, beyond beyond a reasonable doubt of evidence or whatever. Like, how did you come up with this assumption? How did you come up with this verdict and sentence someone like that? They should be investigated 100%. But like I said, my friend.
But it's also juries are not infallible.
I'm sorry.
Juries are not infallible. People who sit on juries, they got their opinions, and there's people who actually get on juries who, they're just dead set on like I think this person did it, and like it's almost the same mentality that you're putting towards, the energy that you're putting out there on in regards to like, oh, I think that person who's this and this and that, right? But you don't know. That's the whole thing, is you don't know the facts. You can't sit there and be the judge and jury without hearing all the facts. See, you're going by, what's out there right now. But if you dig into some of these people's cases and you dig into some of these things, you will see that it's like, okay, well, yeah, at that time.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Just for instance, with the Rampart stuff, there was cops that were actually setting people up. You got judges who have bias. You got prosecutors, like you said, who sit there and they don't do their job. Their job is to seek justice for the people. Their job is not to win at all costs. Their job is to follow the law. They swear an oath to follow the law and to give everybody their constitutional rights and guarantees. But this is not the system that we have right now.
You do have reason, but like I said, my friend, in order as a civilization, there has to be repercussion for if you go and kidnap someone who's a 9-year-old girl, an 8-year-old girl, or you break into an elderly lady's house who's 85 and you rape and you kill her, that's something's wrong with you. Like, that's not okay. That cannot be forgiven. That cannot be forgiven.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't see something like that as an endearing thing.
You have 60 seconds remaining.
That's as heinous as it comes. But the fact of the matter is that, like I said, in order for things like that not to happen, there's things that have to be done outside to. Money needs to be redirected towards things that will stop that. There's sick individuals out there. There's mental health. There's people with serious mental health issues out there that don't get the help. There's, schools are failing because they got no funds, and people end up in prison. But this is going to cut on out because